Hi, welcome to Cardinal Craze, where we talk about everything and anything Louisville football. Welcome to episode number 1, guys. Yeah, we did it, number 1. All right, now one of the things I wanted to do, which was said in the intro, is that we talk about Louisville football on the show. That can be anywhere from commitments, prospects, visitors, and overall Louisville football. Now, when I wanted to do the series for a while now and finally have the availability and time to. And one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to be informing you all week by week what's going on with Louisville football, who the prospects are, what Louisville's looking at, top targets, visitors, and overall what's going on with roster depth or even player development. Now, one of the first things I want to do was take the time to actually talk about the commitments that we've had. We've actually had 2 commitments this month. First one being Aaron Gunn. Aaron Gunn hails from Newcastle, Pennsylvania. He is a offensive guard, stands at 6'3", 308. Honestly, love his film. Love just the way he plays and everything. The second one, who it actually was our most recent commitment as of a couple days ago. His name is Victoni Brown. And let me know if I'm saying that right. He hails from Logan'sville, Georgia. He stands at 6'4", 227 pounds. He is a strong end defensive player. I cannot wait to see him on the field next year. He is a 3-star prospect as well, and honestly just has great film. All these kids have great film, and I just cannot wait to see them play. Now, one of the second things I wanted to do was talk about visits. Who is on the visit board right now? Well, currently, there are no visits happening due to the situation that's happening with the world that everyone is aware of, the coronavirus. Now, one of the things I wanted to say on the show about the coronavirus was wash your hands, stay 6 feet away from people, and please, if you need to cough or sneeze, cough into your arm as such. But I digress. Now, visits. There is 2 visits officially set up right now. More visits will happen. More people will be on the board as the season goes by. Now, the first 2 confirmed visits for Louisville are going to be happening on May 29th or around that time. First one being Travion Ford out of St. Louis, right down the road. He is a 4-star prospect. He is a weekend defensive player. He stands at 6'2", 222 pounds. Great kid, great film. Honestly, everything about this kid is what every team wants in a weak defensive end player. Now, the second one, his name is Corey Kenner. He is a running back out of Cincinnati, Ohio. He stands at 5'10", 205. Great film, 4-star prospect, just overall amazing. Now, that currently is the only 2 visits set up right now. More will follow. But the next thing I want to talk about, number 3, is prospects. What prospects is Louisville looking at currently and getting? Well, besides the first 2 visits that are happening, Louisville is focused on Brylan Oliver, who is from Honey Path, South Carolina. I may have butchered that. I am very sorry if I did. He is a safety, stands at 6'2", 195 pounds, 3-star prospect. Great film. Honestly, he is a player that every coach wants and needs, just like all of these kids. Now, the second prospect that they're looking at is Benjamin Perry. Benjamin Perry hails from Chicago, and he stands at about 6'3", 186 pounds, so he's about 10 pounds lighter than Brylan Oliver, but he is 1 inch taller and is also a safety. Now, Louisville is looking for key roles to fill defense. We've actually had a lot of issues the past couple of years with depth on defense, but the Scott Satterfield era is looking at turning that all around, filling defensive holes that have actually been hurting Louisville in the past. Now, this season seems promising as Louisville goes from their previous season, 8-5 win season, potentially 10-win season. But I digress. One of the first things I wanted to talk about on this show was, what do you want to see? As a viewer, as a Cardinal fan, or just a overall enthusiastic lover of college football, what do you want to see me talk about on here for Louisville football? It could be recruiting, could be the different coaches, their opinions on different things, but at the same time, you essentially clicked on this video hoping to watch or see something about Louisville football. Well, I'm here to tell you right now I've actually gotten some footage from Marquis Lowry, and I wanted to show it for you all. Essentially, it's some practice footage that was shared on social media a while back, and honestly, it is quite amazing. And one of the things is that this kid who was recruited this past season he's a dynamic player, great athlete, and honestly, I can see him being the starter. He, in my opinion, reminds me a lot of Jair Alexander, who is now a cornerback for the Green Bay Packers. And honestly, let's just watch it. Wow. I mean that is speed, strength, everything you want in a cornerback. And honestly, I'm excited to see him just perform this season. I am just ecstatic about this entire team. And one of the things is that a lot of the newcomers, a lot of the freshmen coming in, and even some of the JUCO transfers, they are going to be just phenomenal on the team. And a lot of them expect to see a lot of freshmen potentially starting in certain games. We had a lot of freshmen start last season. We actually had quite a few number of freshman players out there on the field. Now, there were some who were benched or redshirted to try and get better for the next season, or try and give at least an extra season to develop as a player, work on skills, work on gaining weight, muscle. And Marquis Lowry is one of those players that I expect to not have to redshirt and honestly be a starter. He is an amazing, dynamic player, and overall, as you can see, his strength and his ability to keep up with the wide receiver is just fantastic. Now, I will be answering comments and questions. I will be trying to update everyone weekly on what's going on, what recruits Louisville is after, what commitments have been made, what visitations are coming up, and what's going on in Louisville football. Hopefully every week I can give you some type of insight and story as to what is going on with either some prospect or what's going on with a current player. And hopefully I can sit down and be able to chat with some of them and give you some fun update stories. This has been Cardinal Craze, and thank you all for tuning in and watching first episode. We'll have episodes weekly coming out soon. All right, have a blessed day and be safe out there.
Well, I look over yonder, and what I see seems like a chariot coming after me.